and welcome to this episode of The Flex with Aaliyah. Today, I'm talking about balance, not walking down the street and knowing where you are in space type of balance, but having all these roles that you are as a person, a parent, a teacher, a sibling, an athlete. How do you balance work life? And I'm going to talk about my work life balance as an athlete, a coach, and just a person who's living their life to the fullest, because that's all we can really do. I'm going to kick things off with a quote. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. When I read this particular quote, I was like, yes, love it. Because I don't think there is balance. There is no balance. I could choose a path that I think is best for me in the moment that I need. Then there are always consequences to that. So you're letting go while trying to hold on. You're trying to juggle 10 balls at once, but you really only have the capability of juggling 3. So for me, I'm an athlete. I have to train. Some people will be like, nah, you don't have to train. It's like, no, I have to train because I have goals. And I like saying I have to train better than I need to train or I want to train. Sure, I want to train, but I have to. I have to for my own well-being as a person. So my health, my sanity, because I'll go freaking crazy if I don't get my workout in. And my training, so my performance health. That's why I need to train and need to work out. It's non-negotiable. Over my life, pretty much there are a couple stipulations that I will tell people I'm seeing. One is, I'm never moving to Florida. Too damn hot. Stipulation 2, my fitness and my health are non-negotiable. I have to get them in. And there's going to be times where I'm going to care about you, but I'm going to choose this over you. That doesn't mean I actually think you're less and I'm not prioritizing you. But there are times where I need to be selfish and choose that avenue for me and my goals, which is really hard for some people to do. I'm not saying it's not hard for me to do. Sometimes it is. I don't like being put in that position where I'm going to hurt my partner. And I'd say that more now than before. Because in the beginning of a relationship, you're not committed right away. It's like, no, I'm going to do that race. I'll see you next week. But now, as you have more of a long-term relationship, sometimes they know that, but it still could be a trigger for them or an issue where instead of on a weekend of being able to travel down and see your long-distance partner, you end up going to a race. It is a choice, not always an easy choice, and sometimes it's not as clear-cut as choosing the race over visiting down there. I won't lie, sometimes I choose doing a competition over visiting my family. I'm being honest because there's something I am getting out of doing the event that I'm not getting out of visiting my family. And that need is more important to me than putting myself in a situation that's going to have maybe some negative effects or something that tips the scale of, I'm not happy right now. I could have been happy at this event. That's that idea of letting go. I have to let go of things. There's going to be choices all the time. Am I going to do race A or race B? There isn't a wrong choice. There's just a choice that I put my efforts into. And I have to let go of maybe not going to this series race because this other local race has more challenging obstacles, and that's going to tickle my fancy better and satisfy me. That's that assessment of what is going to make me happy. Because I'm not going to make the race happy by showing up. I'm going to make me happy by choosing what I want. So that's one way I balance life, is I let things go. and I have to accept letting certain things go. That also comes in my job. I don't get to see my family that much. I don't get to see my boyfriend that much because of my career choice. And I'm the sole owner, the main coach, trainer at my gym. And I rarely get to see the people I care about. I have close friends that I don't get to see a lot. And then I have opportunities to see them. Then I could sacrifice something at the gym that I'm not willing to sacrifice. Not for my performance, but for my career and the health of my members in the gym. Because that's really important to me. Sometimes I struggle with that. And a lot of people don't understand that fight, that back and forth between wanting to do something, but then having obligation. I know a lot of people do because you have kids, you have jobs. Yes, I totally get it. You do. I have the health of, 50 people in my hands. And when I step away, my family isn't close. I have to drive 8 hours. It's not like I can just see them at night or on the weekend. It has to be at least 2 days because it takes me half a day to get up and then a half a day to come home. And I'm only there for maybe 24 hours. Not ideal, but that's a sacrifice for me wanting the career that I wanted, for me loving working in a gym and helping people on their fitness. So I have to let that go. Sometimes I have to choose my family and I have to sacrifice something at the gym. I had a family member pass away. I couldn't get any coverage that particular day. Like, what am I going to do? I want to be there for my gym members, but I feel more compelled to be there and support the people who in my family had someone pass away. So I had to make that choice. I made that decision and I set it up. But there's a huge responsibility that comes with that. I can't just make a decision and not share it. I don't really always like talking about my life. Like I tend to be a private person. But as a gym owner and handling a whole bunch of people, when shit comes up in my life, I have to be honest and transparent with the people I work with because that develops that community. So when that happened, I sent out a notification. I let them know to an extent what was going on. I didn't need to say who. I put in what I felt comfortable with and was away for several days due to this event. And luckily, my members are freaking amazing. I love you guys that you didn't give me shit for it. You supported me. You helped me. And that was actually very surprising to me. Not because I didn't think they would, but you never know the type of community you create until there is an issue that arises that you have to handle. And my gym family is fucking amazing. You guys are awesome and have supported and helped me so much through these years. And it's very heartwarming. You don't always get that. That is the piece of letting go. And then you have prioritizing, sacrificing. They're always a little bit different, even though some have overlap in what they mean. But letting go is I make a choice and I have to not focus on what I'm losing out on possibly. I have to prioritize things for me. What is most important to me in a certain moment? Sometimes it is the gym, my career. Sometimes it's my performance. Sometimes it's my family. It depends on the circumstance. There's the element of sacrifice, which kind of goes with prioritizing. You have to sacrifice, but then you use prioritize to figure out which one's going to get the short end of the stick. Not in a negative way, just because you have to. If I could do everything, I would, but I can't. That's the whole point of the quote, that life is a balance of holding on and letting go. It's an ebb and flow. And one of the other tools that I use to deal with balance is 50-50 rule. If I can do both or three or whatever I got to do, I'm going to do both. recently I've had so much I've had to do, been really busy, and I've had to kind of put all of these how to balance my life together in one unit. Today I had to cut my workout short because there were other things I had to do. But instead of not doing it at all, I got 50% of my workout done, was able to do the other items that I had to do for work. Then I have some other work stuff that I'm doing now, like this podcast, which it is a priority, but it was lower on the list because I had to make choices. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. This is why we're doing the podcast. And that's how I handle my life. I take all these things, prioritize them, realizing I'm going to have to sacrifice that 50-50 rule. That doesn't mean it's always 50%, 50%. Sometimes it's 25-75. For instance, sometimes when I can't be here at the gym, I try to be here in the morning and then travel in the afternoon so I'm not gone the entire day, or vice versa. There's a lot of things that people don't know. Sometimes I travel really late at night so that way the gym is not affected and I'm doing both. However, it could sacrifice my performance a little bit because I'm getting in later and having to race in the morning. And when it comes to your life, you got to look at that. How can you go to the gym and be a mom? I'm on the side that it's not a good enough excuse to be, I'm busy. Yes, you're going to have to sacrifice things. Maybe you sacrifice some money because you have to pay for childcare. Maybe you bring your kid to the gym with you and you sacrifice a little bit of the effort, but you're coming and getting it in. Moms or dads, whatever it is. You have to look at your whole picture and realize if you're cheating yourself on this whole balance thing. I could easily tell myself that, my fitness isn't important. You don't need to worry about that. I'll take that out and you'll be able to balance better. Maybe, but then I wouldn't be as happy. I wouldn't feel as good about myself. Removing something completely always has a repercussion. So don't think that that solves anything by removing it. So I'm going to go back to that quote of life is a balance of holding on and letting go. You need to do both in order to stay afloat. You need to do both to find the balance. Sometimes you tip to the left and then you overcorrect to the right and back and forth. The whole thing of balance is bullshit. You're never perfectly balanced. You feel like you are when you're happy. When you're happy, you're like, yeah, my life is balanced because things are falling into place and you're making choices and sacrifices and prioritizing things for the well-being of you. And that's why it's almost easy to say, yeah, I have a balanced life. But if you looked at it with a microscope, it isn't perfectly balanced. Consider that as you start to go through your day with considering doing a workout, having to take care of your kid, making dinner or meal prepping, and so forth. The key things to take away, if that was a cluster for you, is that you're never going to be perfectly balanced. You're going to lean a little to the left and then you're going to lean a little to the right, sometimes more one way than the other, depending on what the hat is that you're focusing on, whether it's your career hat, your parent hat, your sibling hat, athlete hat. You're going to have to make those decisions. And the happier you feel about the decisions, the more balanced you're going to feel. Things that you can do to help you are to let go of things, prioritize, sacrifice, and realize you need to sacrifice, and use the 50-50 rule. Divide it out and conquer. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Flex with Aaliyah. I will catch you next time. Remember, click that like button, add a comment, share.